The SOG Aegis, however you want to pronounce it. I'm going to probably pronounce it both ways throughout the review of this knife. And this is the packaging for it. It comes in a beautiful packaging. Kind of reminds me of a PS4 remote control electronic packaging. Um, One of the nicest packages I've seen compared to like the Spyderco packaging of this one. Which I love these kind of packaging as well. I like it simple, give me a simple packaging for a knife. That way I can store it away, it won't take much room, but that's that. That's the packaging. If you like this kind of packaging, kudos, the SOG is for you. Here's the knife. Now, I had made a little talking point here, and I'm going to be cutting this paper as we go through the talking points. So let's go straight into it. I don't want to take up too much time babbling, but I will do that. I will do that. And this is not scripted. This is just me talking out of my ass with my opinions on it. So whatever you think about it, you go ahead and leave a comment. I wouldn't really give a crap what you do. But this is my opinion. So people that are buying this knife, I'll try to make it a little bit objective in the beginning, and then I'll go into personal preference later. Okay. For the price, this ranges from $45 to $67, just from what I've seen online. So the price is kind of mid-range. Now, when I consider knives under $10, right, I'll consider that a budget knife. Okay, under $10, something like this Smith & Wesson is probably $10. And this thing is buttery smooth, quite literally for a $10 knife. Anything $20 to $60, we're looking at mid-range, and I think 60 and up is kind of at the higher range of knife, as far as knife world goes, in my opinion. Now, your mileage may vary. You could go ahead and spend $450 on Sabenza, and that would be your high-end knife, or that might not be high-end enough. But for me, and for what I use this for what most people use this for, because you could go out, spend $10 and get yourself a Smith & Wesson knife with a I don't know steel, most likely a 420, 440. So they don't even advertise a steel on this thing, but this thing's been freaking fantastic for the 8 years that I've owned it. So that's that. This I haven't owned so long. I have not had for that long, but I've seen a bunch of reviews, and I've had it long enough for giving my opinions on it. That's the price. Out of the box, I guess that would be fit and finish, so I'll go ahead and skip that for now. The blade, AUS 8. So let's go ahead and say, we got the price down, so let's go ahead and cut that out of the picture here. Again, knife, same edge, pretty sharp. Not the best sharpness here, but again, I did not put my own edge on this yet, so this is just out of the box. I'm more carrying it than there we go. See that? So sharp, okay? Sharp enough for most people. That's the price. The blade is an AUS 8, and this is SOG's AUS 8. Just because you have one type of blade, it doesn't mean it's going to be the same freaking blade for every freaking knife you have. It's not. Depending on how it's heat treated, the processes while heat treating, this is definitely going to make a big difference. So the AUS 8 and the SOG is fantastic in my opinion. Holds a pretty good edge, and really, if I just kind of did that, you can see it does cut very well. You could probably cut this small piece again. And it does cut newspaper, it does shave hair. This is still the factory edge. I have not put my edge on it, but I'm pretty sure once I put that most likely 14-degree edge on each side, probably 28 inch inclusive, but it's going to be fantastically sharp. I'll have a little bit less blade retention on there, but that's just kind of how I like it. So the blade steel, whatever, it's a budget steel. I'll say, honestly, I think it's a budget steel. Do I prefer it over an 8CR 13 MOV, which this Spyderco is? And I say no. I actually like the 8CR 13 MOV quite a bit. I have a lot of experience with Spyderco Tenacious, and this is by far the benchmark of knives. When you compare it to blade centering, fit and finish, and all that, there will be a review on this, obviously, but this is such a popular knife, you don't even need a review. And I stick this knife out because the price The Spyderco, roughly $40, right? 45, so on par with this Aegis. Okay? And if you pay a lot for this Aegis, it's like $65. So again, like the Blur, Kershaw Blur. So these two knives I'm going to be constantly comparing this Aegis to. So it kind of fits in the niche of that price range, mid-level. And so that is that. Blade, I'll deal with it. It's not bad. Okay, I'm not going to say it's a bad blade. Not at all. Lock, handle. Blade's done. Cut the blade out. Now we go for handle. This is a glass-filled nylon, or glass-reinforced nylon. Sorry, glass-reinforced nylon, FRN, fiberglass, reinforced nylon. Okay. Anyway, so this is the whole freaking knife. Frame of the knife. There's no liners in here, and this is the biggest issue I have with this knife. Handle-wise, it's big. It fits in my hand. I like it. Now I'm a big freaking guy with big hands. I'm 6'5", so this handle. So I always look for a big handle. I care less about the blade. I could deal with a 2.5 inch to 3.5 inch blade. I'm fine with either or. Now this is a 3.5 inch blade, which is plenty big enough. But for me, I focus on the handles. Because for everyday carry, really, the blade, it's 2.5 inches will do fine for you. But for me, the handle, if I'm going to have a nice feeling handle, then I expect at least to have kind of an equal blade. So let's look at this handle. Handle material is good. It's good. I like it. It's grippy enough. It feels good in the hands. Only issue I have is that this handle works as a frame, and because of this, I've seen many videos where the lock fails due to the weakness of the handles, because it's just basically plastic. So that's kind of my biggest negative. Don't expect this to be a heavy use knife. I'm expecting this to break within a year, and I'm expecting to use the crap out of that lifetime warranty. So we'll see how that works. I'll update you if this knife breaks, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the handle. The lock. This is a... Okay, SOG calls it an arc lock. It's really just a piston lock. There's a piston coming up here with a spring attached around it, just like a recoil spring for a pistol. So it's a piston lock. I freaking love piston locks if done right. This is not done right. To have that piston lock directly on that FRN, I'm sorry, but something's gonna go wrong sometime or another. Now I've seen these knives last 3 years, and I've seen them last, I don't know, 1 month. A friend of mine already broke his Aegis, whatever you want to call it. So again, this is my everyday carry just because the weight, and I'm not going to use this heavy use. I work in an office, so cutting little envelopes and cardboard boxes, it's not gonna wear this out at all. All right. I'm still rotating between this right now. I just for the sake of the review, I'm going to use it for my everyday tasks for, at least a month before I give my full opinion on it. And hopefully I could steer you guys right. My initial kind of reserve of this knife was that it wasn't going to be that great. But it's proven me wrong. So anyways, I'll go ahead and do my EDC test for now. And it just, like butter. I expect no less. It is an Aus-8 steel, but SOG does a great Aus-8. The blade is big enough where it does go through the whole orange, and this is kind of what I'm looking for. The reason why I don't like tiny blades is for that reason. It doesn't go through the whole orange. It makes cutting it much more difficult, which is not my thing. So what I like to do is I like to cut it in 8 pieces. It really makes it the easiest to eat. I have 2 layers of paper towel on the bottom so that I don't mess up my desk, obviously. And this is what I do every day. So again, pretty much every day. If it's not an orange, it's an apple. If it's not an apple, it's something else. you'll see it makes no work out of this. And because the blade is so thick and it has that nice little spacer right there, the juice doesn't get inside, and that's another big thing that I like about this blade shape. The orange juices does not get inside of that pivot, so I don't have to worry about it getting stuck on me. The problem with this, I can't take it apart and clean it because it'll void the warranty. So this is what I do. Okay, my orange is all cut up. So I'll clean off my blade. And even if I clean like this, the beautiful sugars leave marks on the blade. So for my next use, what I do is I have a little bit of hand sanitizer here, Purell, and I put a little dab on the blade, like on the napkin like such, and then I just give it a little swipe on both ends. This ensures that the next time I use this, it's going to be nice, clean, bacteria free. But I mean, I keep this maintained, right? I'm going to keep the blade clean. As soon as I use it, I'm going to clean it, put it away. I'm done with it now. Blade centering is still pretty off, if you can see that. See if I can get it to zoom in on that. No? No? There we go. So the blade centering is not ideal. But it's not rubbing, and actually this was much better. I did tighten up everything and it kind of centered it up to there, which is perfectly fine for me. Okay. It's pretty spot on. It's not exactly centered, but compared to before, it's much better. I'm experiencing lots of good things with this knife, surprisingly. Going into it, I was not expecting this knife to perform as well as it did, especially for everyday tasks, and not very demanding. But that is it. Piston lock, again, I'm a huge fan of piston lock when it's executed right. I've already explained that. An example of that is this Kershaw ram. Kershaw ram, this is not spring assisted. That was just purely manual. Okay. Kershaw ram has piston locks, and it's fantastic. There's two pistons in here. One locks the blade, one gives pressure to the lock itself. Fantastic knife. It's no wonder that this thing's going for hundreds of dollars right now. And it's worth the money, because this will rival my Benchmade any day as far as smoothness and all that's concerned. This is actually for sale. Because for me, my knife collection stops when it goes past $200, really. So I'm not going to hold on to a knife that has this big of a value. I'd rather just sell it and have someone enjoy the collection aspect of it. I'm a user kind of guy, so that's that. The lock on this, because it's on FRN, it's not confidence inspiring. I'll slice with it, but stabbing and poking around, that's suppose, like when I'm working on wood, and I have this Spyderco Tenacious, I am so confident in that liner lock that I will stab the wood and split it apart, and then I'll do all kinds of crazy stuff with this. And it's really a folding knife. Really, it's not meant to carve wood out and so on and so forth. But I've used it for that because when I go hiking, I want to carry a fixed blade on me. It's just hiking. I'd rather have a small little clip. And I've made plenty of little walking sticks where I've shaved off the bark. I made a little nice rounded handle. My pocket knives, and this knife is something that I will not do that with. Biggest reason? FRN. Okay? The lock, when it fails and if it comes down on you, oof, I don't want to be there when that happens. Okay, liner and frame, again, this is kind of where the issue comes in. So why do I feel like there's a roll display? Liner or frame? No liners. Frame is plastic. What else is there to say? Shit's gonna break. I expect it to. This pocket clip is screwed directly onto the FRN. Gee, I wonder what's gonna happen when I use this long enough, hard enough. The blade, okay. The little stopping pin back here is connected directly to the FRN as well. What's gonna happen when I slap that blade on there that many times? Okay. So that's that. Fit and finish. Crappy. Okay, this came out of the box with a really loose blade. Lots of blade play when it came out of the box, and really shitty alignment. Blade centering on this was crap. How I alleviated that? One, I can't take this knife apart because I'll void the warranty. And I don't want to do that because I know what this knife's going to go through, in my honest opinion. So the only thing I can do is tighten shit up. So I've tightened that pivot screw to the point where this knife will no longer fall back closed. See that? I can nudge it, but I mean it's under spring tension, as you can see. It's under spring tension, but if I just let it go, it's so that's not the pivot's tight enough to the fact that that's even with that spring tension, it won't close. It won't, fly open. And I kind of did this for one reason because, again, that backstop pin right there is directly on FRN or GRN handles. Yeah. So I don't want this to fly open so fast to the point where it's going to keep banging the back of it. So this is actually perfect for me. There's no way I could not get this to open up, even if I go very slow, and it'll still fly open and lock back. So the spring assist is still there. I've also tightened up all these frame screws, and it made a world of a difference as far as alignment goes. It's not perfectly centered, but it's way better than what it used to be. And this I could deal with. This reminds me more of a $10 knife than it is a $45 to $60 knife, okay? When you look at the $40, $45 Spider Clips in Aegis, the freaking centering is perfect. Perfect lockup. Lockup is so tight, no left to right, no up and down. Really, SOG, you really kind of dropped the ball on that one, right? I mean, blade shape is good. I love this kind of leaf, very, very big flat grind blade shape. I'm happy with that. Again, this is not spring assisted, but it flies open like it is. So I'm not always an assisted type person. I like both, but I think Spyderco's kind of set the bar as far as what to expect. Now I have a Manix 2 lightweight that's also just pure FRN or nylon or plastic or rubber handle, and that one does not have blade centering on it either. And that's kind of the trend that I see with these kind of knives that don't have steel liners. And really, why would you not put steel liners? Weight? I mean, you're really not saving that much by putting a little steel liner that comes up to here on both sides, just to lock that blade in, and maybe just a little steel liner in the back, so the screws have something to screw into. It makes sense, but that's that. So the crucial blur again, the top end of the price point. This one does have steel liners inside. They're very small, they only come down to here. But they have it. See, it only comes right about here, but they have it. And that's what makes this blade feel so much better. I feel so much more confident with this blade now. There's been spine whack tests where this lock failed, but that's just the nature of liner locks. This lock knife's never failed on me. I've whacked it in the spine a few times. Still has never failed on me, so that's that. Okay, everyone's mileage will vary. Fit and finish on this was crappy. They should have never left the factory with that kind of fit and finish, in my opinion. I don't mind. Okay, clip, love it, love deep carry. It's just nice. Okay, do I need it? No, because my T-shirt covers my pocket, so it's not going to be a big deal. But I love the deep carry. It's a good option, especially when you're wearing shorts. Safety, the most retarded thing in the world. Why in the world would you want a safety on your knife? Really? Say it locks open by accident. What? Right. I've heard it happen. And you go to deploy your knife, and for the most part, when you deploy your knife in an everyday situation, you're cutting boxes, not going to be a big deal. But what if, just that what if chance, right? That you need it for a tactical or self-defense situation, that thing locks. You're pretty much screwed. You're not going to, that's enough time for the guy to run up and do whatever he needs to do. So this safety is by far a design flaw in my opinion. But again, everyone has their own opinion on that. The retention of the blade, again, I expect my speed safe blades to be very safe as far as retention goes. I don't expect it to where I could just swing it enough times where it opens. See that? See that? Did not use this. All I do is hold it like that, and if I just swing it, it flies open. Not a fan of this on speed safe knives. I don't mind so much on non-speed safe knives. But speed safe knives, I don't want it to swing open when I shake the handle, no matter how hard I do it. This is an example of the Kershaw Blur. No matter how hard I flick this knife, the speed safe on there, the tension of that torsion bar just holds that blade in perfectly. Only deploys when I want to use it. Okay. So overall feel, again, I'm not a fan of how I can open it by shaking it kind of hard. Now again, I have to give it a good shake, right? So again, this is not going to be too big of a problem. I just don't like how it does that. The blade centering is not centered all the way. The blade itself is fine. Biggest negative I have is probably it doesn't have steel liners or some kind of metal liners, metal subframe to help this with rigidity. That's the biggest issue I have. But for an everyday carry, like if you're into knives and you think you're gonna fight off zombies and bad people, this is not the knife to be carrying. Any kind of folder is not the knife to be carrying for that. Okay. If you carry a folder to do what I do, open boxes, cut paper, so on and so forth, then these are the knives to carry. Of that, how capable is this of replacing a fixed blade? Now this one, not so much. Spyderco Tenacious, yes. Yes, if I was in an emergency situation, this could potentially replace a fixed blade. Kershaw Blur, same. This cheap $10 knife, same. I've spine whacked this, I've batoned with this, and it's just held up. Okay, so that's my overall feel on the SOG Aegis. If you already have many knives and you just want it because it looks cool and it feels good in your hands, go for it. I say go for it. But if this is going to be your one and only knife to carry all the time, there are better options for that price. Okay, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment below. I will try to get back to you.